Hello, I am a leader of the Terrible Liga del Mal. You can call me Terry. The voice I am acting is not for scaring anyone. It's just the nature of the character I am portraying. It's meant to be funny. This story is not fiction. I will not put scare jumps here. Also, there will be no cheap tricks like playing a frequency below 20 Hz to make you feel uneasy or something. I have told it several times from my perspective, but I have only said that this happened on Holy Week at 3:46 a.m. I searched my Facebook private message and this happened on March 16 of 2013 at 3:21 a.m. On that year, Holy Week was on March 24 to 30. There may be a logical explanation. It might not even be a paranormal thing, yet I lack the knowledge to discard this possibility, hence my fascination with it. So, no wacko cats or animal clickbait as a skinwalker. By the way, go watch Shanclen and Unearthing the Supernatural so you can understand what an actual skinwalker is. We can kill it, or maybe we can wound it. That's a classic. Horror stories. Every country has at least one, even variation of the same story. They are used to teach children manners and life lessons. However, some of these stories do not have that quality. Maybe they are just to entertain or give people a good scare. At first I thought the origin of the black dog comes from Europe, but it seems almost every culture got a version of this entity or entities. And of course, everyone claims their version is the original. It does not matter the place or the time. Mayan, British Isles, South America, you name it, there is a story of a black dog or a hellhound. No wonders really, because dogs and humans has been close in every culture. I read Spain got a town which name means meadow of black dogs, meaning they got a lot of these entities. Some say the black dog is an emissary of death, a bad omen, and some related to crossroads. One version tells that the black dog was an evil man, a wizard, and the whole town saw how he transformed right in front of them. The stories I was told when I was a child that relate to this topic are el chivato and el cadejo. This word in Spanish means different things, but I have my guess. Chivato is used for young goats. Did you know in English they call it kids? I didn't know, so I use young goats to avoid confusion. Chivo means goat, so the name El Chivato could be translated to something like the goat-like, as I don't think it looks like a young goat. And calling it the kid could be really misleading. I mean, what is he, a cowboy? I believe it's called like that because chivato is not so common use. A definition for cadejo is maraña, which means tangle. The name then could be referring to the fur of the entity. We could translate it to the tangle then. As funny as this name sounds, we may be talking about a hellhound. El chivato on some Latin American countries is a goat with human characteristics, a demon, or the devil himself. On other countries they use it to describe a black dog similar to El Cadejo, but with goat characteristics and pure evil. For El Cadejo, there is a version with a white dog, which is good, and the black dog, which is bad. On some he drags chains, and in other version there is no white dog. I will not cover all versions here. In general, it appears to those who are drunk at night on the streets. The grandpa of a friend, rest in peace, So he and two more men were chased by the black dog after a baile. This is a dancing party. Whoever goes there get out of there wasted, like really drunk. It appeared as a little dog chasing them, but they feel it was a bad thing. One of the men threw some rocks to scare it away. That was a bad move. The damn thing grew and grew and began to chase them. It scared them out of their drunkenness. They were chased until a cross monument on the street. Sometimes it seems El Chivato and El Cadejo are interchangeable terms, or share similar attributes, as I tried to imply earlier. Those who have seen it describe it as having red eyes, black thick fur, and of course, the looks of a dog. Speaking of dogs, in some version he eats them. I was told when it is moving, the dog barks until he's quiet or he goes away. Did you know Pio of Pietrelcina saw a black dog? I hear there is a prayer that you can recite if it appears to you. It makes this black dog accompany you to your house, guarding you on the road, and then it will leave the same night. I don't know about this prayer, and I don't want to be honest. You see, almost in every version, people describe the scent of sulfur on the air, and that is not a good sign by any means. Do not pry into the dark arts. Those who seek easy ways to power find the quickest way to downfall. Curse someone and you will be damned 3 times as much. 3:21 a.m. March 16, 2013. On a Saturday, I received the message, I am hearing El Chivato OMFE from my cousin. This was around 3 minutes after saying goodnight to each other on Facebook chat. We were having a normal dumb conversation about how I got friend-zoned and throwing insults at each other. You know, boys will be boys. Funny times. I was on another city, meanwhile he was on our hometown. There were many lost calls of him on my cell phone, hence why I look at the PC to read this message. Call me, I reply. When I pick up the call, he keeps making sentence, explaining what he witnessed. Have you heard a classmate nervous speech in front of lots of people? That characteristic tone in the voice, that it seems the pitch is trembling. I perceive it on his voice, and this guy is not the bravest, but he's not easy to scare either. I understood this was no acting, so I replied with the typical calm down several times. What I understood from all that he says was that he saw a black animal figure run close to his house. Seems to be circling his or the neighbor house. That thing was making the dogs bark like crazy. He got 4 at the time. I don't remember how many the neighbors had. At that time, his house got a block fence with iron bars in the front and a cyclone fence on the sides. Also to the side, there is a row of cashew trees. He gathered the dry leaves to burn them the next day. In a corner is a lamp post. Past his neighbor house, there is a downhill, and at the end of the street, there is only tall bushes. The garden of his neighbor got leafy plants. That thing moved from the cashew tree side to the downhill and disappeared. All the things I described blocked his view, so he could not see it that well at that time. He told me he felt the ambiente pesado, and every time he got close to the window, the air got this sense of sulfur. Ambiente pesado means heavy atmosphere. Is the description people call to the eerie feeling when paranormal things are happening. Like, the weight of the air becomes more apparent. You can feel it and sometimes tell you this is bad or something is wrong. He knows this feeling well because he has experienced it way too much. Maybe it is instinct or common sense. Whatever it may be, you can tell something is off. Last time, that creature went to the bushes at the end of the road. Don't know how many minutes passes. But he was calm. We both were. He didn't say he was going to sleep. I understood he didn't want anything more with that experience. I got my doubts. But knowing it was this late, I agree sleeping was for the better. I will do the questioning the next day anyways. So we closed the call. Maybe a minute or two passed and I got a call again. This time, his voice was in awe and in fear. I saw it, he keeps repeating. Meanwhile, I repeat, calm down. Then he said, I saw how he dragged his ears on the ground while running. This part I can't remember well. I think he said something like that thing was walking in two legs while dragging his ears. That is strange. That thing was something like a black dog, but with ears long enough to touch the ground. That could not be, right? Maybe that thing was really dragging its ears like some dog after a bath. I then imagine a black dog like the one in the anime Hellsing. Maybe it was like a dark mist manifesting on this realm from below the ground. I can't figure out what he was trying to describe. He was in panic, and when I was asking everything, his dogs were barking really loud. And then he said, it is in the lamppost near the cashew trees. Hear it. I kid you not. When whatever that thing moved, the dogs went all suddenly in silence, which is totally the opposite of what I was told when I was a child. I could hear the sound of dry leaves being stepped on and kicked. I knew well that sound, as that was the yard we used to play soccer. But you could hear the song of a big dog. The breathing big dogs do when playing or searching for something like a frog or a cat or a toy. Now, the dogs breaks the silence when that thing stopped or was too close to the fences. He said, did you hear it? I am putting my cell phone close to the window. Here. This action happens like 3 or 4 times. Sometimes that thing growled. It was eerie how the dogs went silent at the same time when that thing moved. I can't describe it well. It's like a rumble. There is no way the cell phone speaker could reproduce that. Maybe it was just fear. I am indeed a easiest person to scare. But I think instead of fear, it feels closer to feeling pressure. Maybe the feel is close to what you feel when a big car passes by and the street or the house vibrates. I could hear the ring of the cyclone fence. That thing got to the back of the house. We keep talking. Well, it was me asking most of the time, trying to figure if that was just a normal dog and he was just too scared to confuse shadows to paranormal things. We were relaxing a little just to hear that thing coming back, the sound of dry leaves. This time, the dogs were not in silence. This time, they sounded ready to fight it back. That thing was coming to the front of the house, where the light of the lamppost could shine to see it better. The voice of my cousin was in fear, anticipating the arrival of that thing. And when it happened, the voice of this guy changed the tone. It was so characteristic of him. It felt like he was normal. He flipped his personality from fear to it is what it is. He calmly said, "He's there, in the front," with the most "I don't care anymore" voice. The fence has a slider door for the car. Between the iron bars are wires, so the dogs or cats don't pass. His 4 dogs were facing that thing, barking and growling. A declaration of war. My cousin say, "Hear it," and put his cell phone on the window. I hear the pack going mad in anger. Something was really odd. There was a growl of a big dog that didn't feed. The more you hear it, the more apparent. And then I noticed something. This growl was really long. There was no barking from this dog, and it only inhaled just to begin growling again. A long growling with no bark. At this point, my memories fails me. What I remember is he saying something along the lines of, "Well, gonna sleep, see ya." And I reply the same, closing the cell phone call and back to the PC, in a surprised state, thinking what was that thing? No dog I have seen or heard before caused that long growling, and just inhaled to go at it again with such hate. Today I searched the chat on Facebook of that day, and what I wrote minutes after was, "There is nothing on how to chase it away on the internet. I know I am crapping my pants, but damn, I am excited. This is my first paranormal experience." I do remember my mind going full speed, thinking about the frustration of not being able to do a thing, meanwhile trying to figure out what it was. I have since then told this story with a response close to zero credibility from the listener. I mean, I was on the phone. Speaking of it, the cell phone of my cousin make altered electronics do rhythmic sounds, so he could not play sounds like dogs barking without the damn noise. And I will not call his dog trained either. Heck, sometimes I think one of them didn't respect him or me. This discard the possibility of acting. I can rule the possibility of the creature being another kind of canine. We are in Panama, the country, and last time I checked, the last sight of a coyote in the country was 40 years ago. I got a male Doberman. The sound he made, it is close to the tongue of that canine, minus the long growl. So it should be at least that size. The closer to that side was a boxer, but he was 2 houses downhill and within a fence. Still, could have been a weird dog or another canine species. My dog scared me sometimes in the night, remembering this history. The worst part of all of this is that my cousin really evade this topic. He has just talked about this with me like 3 times, and he didn't go deep in details. I don't think it's about fear, but something else. Like he's prohibited to talk of it, or he doesn't want me to get involved in this. You see, it seems that thing was there to curse him. Have you heard that pets takes the hit for their owner? One of his dogs died around a week after this. I kid you not. What I hear is that the dog ate a frog, but he insinuated that the vet explained things to him in a way he could arrive to a certain conclusion. What was it? Only them know. Now, I have to point something out. Maybe you did notice. That thing breathes. Whatever it was, it indeed needed air to produce sound. His neighbor and his family noticed the commotion. But I think only the mother saw it. I can't confirm this. And although I am friend of the neighbor too, I can and will not go to that lady and speak of that like a casual conversation. It was many years ago, and I mean, I am just the friend of her son. I think you understand, right? By the way, my friend did hear the thing, but he was half asleep. So, whatever it was a real thing, because there are witnesses. I can't claim this was paranormal, and my posture with this kind of thing is, I am in the middle ground. What I mean is, I do believe and doubt about it. Weird, huh? Well, for me it's more weird when people experience this thing and they say they don't believe in it. My father is one of these people. Maybe I should talk about these stories he told me. My cousin was not drunk, and he was at his home. No hallucinations. His mind playing tricks? Could be, of course. Stress makes your brain do things like that. Yet, the thing was seen by the neighbor. So, again, it doesn't mean it was a hellhound. Could be any canine. Also, in his breathing, I hear the sound of saliva when inhaling. What I am implying is that these are characteristics of a living creature. I don't know the nature of specters, but that makes me wonder why would they need those biological functions. On the other hand, sulfur smell is not easy to replicate, I think. By the way, his house is in the corner of a crossroad, each corner with a house. In front of his house lies another uncle. His house looks like a normal one, in and out, but when you enter you feel uneasy. It is a weird feeling. Maybe it's that the walls block pretty good the sound. My cousin doesn't like to enter that house. Well, the feel is the same when entering the rooms of my cousin's house for me. So I don't get why he cares. Maybe I should be the one to don't like to enter either house. Funny, now that I talk about this, I think those two houses are the ones that give me that feel. A cemetery is 200 meters if we trace a direct line. Not that cemetery is scarier than a church, at least at night. You see, that's where ghosts go. Hospitals are scary too. I want to close this topic saying that if there is bad in this world, then there must be good too. Do not seek evil things. You are not the main character. If you are seeking evil things, you are definitely not smarter than any of that things. If you think I will be cool with those powers, you are a plain stupid. And you are a lost case if you think you could befriend those things. They are no friends to anyone. I will not preach to you what to believe, but I will ask you at least try to be a good person. This will be for your good and the good of others. But be careful out there. Good persons do suffer bad things. I may or may not tell other stories in the future. Also, if you have similar experience you want to share, leave it in a comment. I am interested. See you.